What small thing pisses you off? A small thing that annoys me is when people don't respect my privacy. I like to be alone sometimes and I don't feel like talking or being around people. When people don't respect that, it can be frustrating. When you cut a tag out of your clothes but left a small triangle that sits both in and out of the stitching and it constantly rubs against your skin till you're red and raw. Reply all on 50-person work emails, followed only by 12-person group texts. Triple anger rage if people just reply thanks or great. Having to ask people to stop talking in the movie theater while the movie is playing. This isn't your living room. Also, keep your lip smacking to a minimum while you stuff that popcorn down your throat. Left lane bandits. You are going exactly the speed limit and as fast as the semi you are trying to pass. Get your shitty Honda Odyssey out of the left lane if you aren't going to pass them, so other drivers can get around you. Also quizzing me about my weekend plans before inviting me to do something. My introverted ass will probably say no either way. I know there's no malice intended, but it just feels intrusive. If it's cool and I can do it, I'll do it. My phone acting like we're and well need replaced with we're and we'll every time, even if that makes it grammatically incorrect. When it's spring or summer out and a fly somehow gets in through the window screen. I'm laying there trying to watch a show at night and the little shit starts dive bombing the bright screen. My cat? Useless for catching it. The spiders I let live in here? Also useless for catching it. No, I'm the one. I have to get up, catch it, and let it outside or feed it to the aforementioned animals. People in the drive-thru that don't pull up far enough that you behind them can reach the speaker. But the employee starts talking, "Can I take your order?" and you are still 4 feet away but they see your car. And think you're just not ready. Then they walk away and when you finally can inch your way up to the speaker they are nowhere to be found. Packaging products, large boxes for small items, plastic containers you need a chainsaw to retrieve the product. Those easy open pull tabs on oils, salad dressings etc. People saying instructions to me while doing a task. Maybe it's because I'm disabled but regardless it really pisses me off. I'd be doing the dishwasher and someone behind me would be saying now take the plates out of the washer, and place them in the drawer like dude I've done it 1,000 times, I think I know how. When you're in a line and people are super close to you, angry face, I wish I could fart whenever. I'd let it rip and hope it smells deadly. When my partner lays on the blanket in bed and traps it beneath him, so a small slither of my side is exposed where the blanket doesn't reach. Standing in line at Taco Bell for 10 minutes just for the person in front of you to not know what they want when they get to the register. Just chaps my ass man. Anyone who stands in front of a doorway, walkway, or aisle where you can't easily go around them. Get the hell out of the way, you're holding back everyone else from progressing with whatever they are doing. How having a conversation with men is almost always one-sided. Women ask the questions and men eagerly answer but rarely ask anything more than a boo. I have a coworker who uses big words all the time. The small thing is that he's using a lot of the words and phrases incorrectly. People who say then when they actually mean than. I'm 31 now and I don't recall this being an issue in my school days. Having a two-person conversation, then someone walks by, which is always the same nosy person, and then completely interrupts the conversation by being nosy and asking questions. I had a car accident start of last year and I've been left with no special awareness or depth perception etc. I still move out the way for people and it still pisses me off when people walk too slow and leave no room to overtake. It's not that hard people. If there is less than a usable amount of toilet paper remaining on the roll when you're done, change the toilet paper roll. When someone wants you to do something for them and then they follow the request with please and thank you. It's so rude and they're not really asking at that point, they are assuming you will do whatever they asked without giving you the chance to say if you're willing to or not. It's very condescending and makes me not willing to do them the favor they wanted. Holding a door for someone and a bunch of people take that as an invitation that they're entitled to and don't say thank you. When something is widely disliked and someone feels that they have to like it just because it is being unfairly hated on. This kind of mindset usually being followed up with a statement it isn't that bad. Cool, dude. Examples include the King of Limbs wasn't that bad. Superman 64 isn't that bad. Herpes isn't that bad. People breathing loud, people that are walking in front of me being slow as but there is no space to walk past them, if you and another person accidentally touch and it's weird, etc. etc. People who get to the top of escalators and then stop suddenly, as if they weren't expecting to be presented with a ticket barrier, and blocking people coming up behind them. Also the same situation but on train platforms. Move along, people. When my BF puts the noodles in water before it's when he puts whatever down on the skillet before it's even turned on. Hobbits. Can't help it, I just explode into a violent rage when I see an adult under 4 feet smoking a pipe, eating cupcakes while calling them cakes. Just cause you're little doesn't mean you can redefine cuisine sizes. Drivers that can't figure out how to maintain a constant and consistent speed. Nothing quite like passing the same car on the highway multiple times because they're going 55 miles per hour to 85 miles per hour at random. When you're in the drive-thru and the car in front of you has plenty of room to scoot up but doesn't. You're only a few feet away from the speaker box and they're just oblivious. When there are double doors that you're going through with a crowd of people and nobody opens the second door. I'm always the hero in this scenario. I lived next to a highway for 6 years. I hate loud cars. Guys who think you're cool because your car makes loud noises. I despise you from the depths of hell. People who say they want you to tell them the truth, or say they won't get offended then proceeds to get offended or butthurt. When at the supermarket, someone parks their cart on one side of the lane, and then stands opposite it, basically blocking the entire lane. Or people who act like picking a can of corn is like taking the SATs. Just fucking grab the can and examine it out of everyone's way. It really, clapping hands, chaps, clapping hands, my, clapping hands, ass, clapping hands. When people at work tell me you look tired. Tell me I look like shit without telling me I look like shit. I felt great all day up until that comment. When you rip off a piece of toilet paper and it doesn't rip properly or even worse, rips way before the perforated edge. Opening a resealable bag of something that has a Ziploc type closure and you peel off the top strip of plastic. Okay, sometimes that's hard enough, but then when you go to pull the bag open, the Ziploc closure strips away from the bag which remains sealed. Then you have to get scissors or a knife and the bag is no longer resealable as designed. F that. When someone falls in the toilet because the seat was left up and says it's your fault because you didn't put the seat down, it takes 2 seconds to like, bro, you are looking at the toilet when you enter the restroom, so check before you sit down. If you fall in, it's your fault. I was going to write something, and thou. Screw it. Trying to write something and I can't write the correct words down. I've done it like 10 times from that. English is my first language and it still sucks. I can never correctly phrase something, or write down the right words for something, and then I end up having to delete it all and go again. It gets me so irrationally angry, like break a Nokia brick angry. People who drive with their hazard lights flashing. You can't tell when they're braking or changing lanes. Just get off the road. Also, my neighbors letting their dogs shit and piss all over my vehicles and yard, making my fenced-in dogs go ballistic. When you're standing there and a store clerk answers the phone and makes you wait while the potential phone customer who isn't even there gets priority attention. Drivers that don't merge ahead of time when they know the lane is ending. They just feel they are entitled to their own space and a force merge so they don't get 1 or 2 cars behind. People who don't stand to the side on an escalator in Australia, that's the left, FYI. Hi mom, talking about you. Also folks who can't or are too lazy to park properly. By properly I mean straight and in the middle of the marked parking bay. A bag of chips that are barely coated in the powdered flavoring. I bought a snack that was bad for my health for a reason, looking at you talkies. Getting something stuck in my eye that's too small to see to fish out, but that still manages to drive me crazy. Like pet hairs, I guess. People who are perfectly fit and capable using the lift instead of taking the stairs to go up or down one level when the stairs are right next to the elevator. Annoyance goes up if I have a pram and they go oh whoops, but still committed to taking the lift. When there is one area of a barbecue grill that is much hotter than the other areas and it constantly flames up, tries to burn your meat. People who set up blockades in stores leaving no room to pass by either by talking with somebody or by positioning their cart in a way that leaves no room. I swear to the heavens that if I am standing in line for something, and you cut me off, acknowledge that you've done so, and then proceed to hold that place in line. I will not approach you because I don't like confrontation, but you better believe that the fight we had that I made up while I was taking a shower with all my what-ifisms is gonna make you look bad, buddy. Handicap accessible, not meaning that it's actually usable for handicapped people. For instance, the dollar store where I live is handicap accessible. BC, they have handicap parking and a ramp. I can't take my husband in there though. BC, the aisles are too small, crowded to fit his wheelchair through, and their handicap parking doesn't have the marked off space next to it, so there is no room to get him in out of the car if someone parks next to me. When someone decides to share their music taste in public by using their phone speaker as loud as possible. Triple points if the music is awful. People who haggle over coupons in line at the grocery store, and then write a check. Literally the worst people that have ever existed in all of human history. When someone says something funny and everyone laughs and then the one fucking guy every time just repeats the same thing they said. I don't know why or what about, but it just enrages me. Guys, you know that first piss, maybe an hour or so post releasing the Kraken, and you end up pissing everywhere but in the toilet? That feeling of anxiety that you might put your friend off, irritated, annoyed after an outing and she doesn't want to be friends with you anymore. The sound of liquid being poured into a container. It makes me batshit crazy. Totally irrational, I know, but my reaction is intensely visceral. People being a little too slow following what I'm trying to say or explain. It's a horrible trait. I fully admit that I'm impatient as hell. But sometimes I can't help myself and I get angry when people just don't understand what I'm saying context-wise. People buying sports cars like GR Yaris or Evo etc. with forged wheels and then replacing them not even with reps. With fucking bolas. Like. Get help, though I'm sure it's too late for that. Littering. This shit is annoying because it will legit be in a parking lot and all they had to do is walk 10 feet away to a garbage can. When one sock is looser fitting than the other, so it twists around when you walk. It ignites an ungodly fire in my soul. Upside down face. Slow people. People who try to be funny and are not funny naturally. People with no arguments, but still trying to argue piss me off. My gym is full of tripods and people doing videos. The new thing is for dudes to set up the tripod and camera and do sets or poses topless. Hate it. When someone does not turn the fan on in the bathroom after destroying at the place that I work at. Like. Really? You serious? Your stank borders on nasal battery but you didn't turn the fan on? Makes me want to call them out in front of everyone. Sleeping through my alarms. I hate feeling like I've wasted part of my day by sleeping an hour or two after I was meant to wake up. When drivers use the carpool lane or metered on ramp but they are alone. Like wait and have patience like everyone else or actually carpool. People stopping in the middle of the aisle at the grocery store. Pull your trolley over if you need time to think, damn it. When people stare at me on the street while I'm walking. Like, dude, what are you looking at? I'm just walking. Not doing a circus act to get people's attention. Mind your damn business. Poor organization of items. I know it's not up to me how someone lives, but if I see a bookshelf or DVD rack or whatever and I see that its contents aren't in alphabet cal or size order or something, then I very quietly riot. Rarely to their face, unless I'm ribbing my friends for their bad resource management in games we play. Groups of people who walk shoulder to shoulder down the sidewalk, and when they see you coming the opposite direction, none of them fall behind each other to allow you to pass. Nah. Just let me jump into the street because you think you own the sidewalk. When restaurants don't give you specific sizes, I think if you serve pizza you should have the diameter on the menu. If you sell chicken wings put how many etc. This really bothers me when they don't. When you hold the door for someone and they come through and don't take over holding it, so now you are forced to hold it for the person behind them as well. Lack of nutritious vegetarian options in public school food. Also getting strange looks when you request vegetarian food in office parties, fast food places along highways, or any place that's not high-end. I'm in my 20s, female and still live at home. My dad pees with the door open, and the way the toilet is positioned in the bathroom means you can see him standing there when you walk down the hall. Makes me super uncomfortable, and no matter how many times I ask him to just close the door, he still does it. Silly, but it really winds me up. Four-way stops. It's baffling how many people do not know, understand or obey right-of-way. Just because you pulled up behind someone at a stop sign, does not mean you don't yield once that car in front of you proceeds. It's like there should be 30 seconds ads before TikTok vids specifically about driving instructions. Those who share strong opinions on other motorists who choose to use the empty lane to merge in past all the traffic. It's perfectly fine to do so and helps ease congestion in the one lane, therefore reducing tailback. When a driver is exiting the roundabout but doesn't indicate and you have stopped for them, so you just sit there watching them. When people slam doors inside the house, especially at night. My roommate does it. I want to slam her head in that door. In every new thing you buy, endless screeds of compliance and safety info that nobody will ever read, printed so small you couldn't read them even if you wanted to. Just lack of awareness, but this I'm trying to work on because I know it's not other people's fault. I'm very observant, so I always tend to see when I'm going to be in someone's way. So when I'm walking with someone and someone is in the path of somewhere and they don't move when I can see someone coming, there's a part of me that's like, come on stupid, move out the fucking way. I've heard it's a real thing associated with OCD or other things, but the sounds of people chewing genuinely sets me off into an internal blood rage. I sometimes actually have to just cover my ears. It pisses me off so much. I never voice it because I know it's just me, but I cannot handle it. The word sleuth. I freaking hate it. And while we're at it, the word buff specifically in terms of history buff. Stupid. The fact that I need 500 karma, whatever that means, on Reddit, before I can post my story on off my chest. Bro, this one needs to be told. It's juicy AF. Being told. I am not good with computers. Look, asshole, your job requires you to use a computer. So take a fucking class, read a book, watch a YouTube. Don't act like it is my job to do aspects of your job because K0 MP3 RSR Compl CT3D.